Here.
Trustee Zalick.
Here.
Trustee Geiser.
Here.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Here.
Trustee McCarthy.
Here.
Mayor Severino.
Please rise and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 21st, 2022 Village Board meeting?
So moved?
Second.
Moved by Trustee Frusaloni, seconded by Trustee Zalick. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garby.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geiser.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Do I have a motion for the approval of the minutes of the March 21st, 2022 special workshop meeting?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Trustee Geiser, seconded by Trustee Garvey. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garby.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geiser.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. As has been our tradition for a number of years now, I'm going to turn this over to our Public Works Director, Phil Modoff, to introduce a new employee.
Thank you. As Brad Fink makes his way up to the podium, Brad comes to us with extensive experience in public works over the last 25 years, serving as a director, an assistant director, an engineering inspector in 3 different communities. In one community, he also served as an interim village administrator and an interim village treasurer. He's got a master's degree in public administration, a bachelor's degree in architecture. He will directly oversee our fleet and facilities supervisor and our administrative services supervisor. So he can fill in a few blanks, and he's ready for any questions you may want to ask.
Mayor Pro Tem, Board, it's a pleasure to be here tonight, and I'm really excited to get to know you folks as well as the staff and bring some of our strategic goals forward. I'm really excited for this opportunity. A little bit about myself. This year we will be celebrating my 30th wedding anniversary. I have 2 kids, one that's currently at the fire academy, ready to be a firefighter, so he's pretty excited about that. And I have my youngest is a senior in high school and just decided that he's going to be going to University of Alabama next year. So again, first day, a lot to take in. Phil has me working already, so again, I look forward to working with everybody, and I'm happy to answer any questions you'd have.
Well, welcome aboard, Brad. The only piece of advice I could give you is we got a great staff over there. The Public Works guys, I mean, from the top on down, work with them and listen to them. They've actually got some pretty good ideas that Phil always listens to also. And I just encourage you to absolutely work with, and you've got a great team over there. Welcome aboard.
Great advice. Appreciate that.
I only have one question.
Fire away.
I talked to Phil over there, and he has yet to ask you, are you a Cubs fan or a Sox fan?
Boy,
Answer correctly, because that could make,
Chicago fan.
could be a short career.
Yeah, see, if you're not going to answer correctly.
That was kind of a cop-out.
Yeah, it actually
Chicago fan.
was.
Well done.
Well, I can tell you, I grew up a Sox fan because my neighbor across the street had season tickets, so I grew up going to the Sox game. However, I did watch the Cubs in the World Series, but if I had to pick, I would say Sox.
Okay,
Very
so
well.
congratulations
Welcome
on your
aboard.
last day
Good
of
pick.
board.
Good pick.
Any favorite Big Ten teams, since we're on the topic?
Don't say Purdue.
Your odds got a lot lower.
Yeah.
Right, U of I, right.
Obviously,
Wow.
this isn't a-
Seriously, welcome aboard, and we're glad to have you part of the team.
Yep,
Thank you
welcome
very
aboard.
much. Thanks.
Okay, next up, we have a proclamation, try that again, proclaiming April did I say that correctly? Awareness Month. Trustee Geiser called me and asked if he could read that.
Thank you very much. We're proclaiming April Sikh Awareness Month. Whereas Sikhs have been living in the United States for more than 120 years, and during the early 20th century, thousands of Sikh Americans worked on farms, in lumber mills and mines, and on the Oregon, Pacific, and Eastern Railroad. And whereas Sikhism is the 5th largest religion in the world, and today there are more than 25 million Sikhs worldwide and an estimated 500,000 Sikh Americans and 25,000 Sikh Illinoisans. And whereas Sikh Americans make rich contributions to the social, cultural, and economic vibrancy of the United States, including service as members of the United States Armed Forces and significant contributions to our great nation in agriculture, information technology, small businesses, the hotel industry, trucking, medicine, technology, and more. Whereas Sikh Americans distinguish themselves by fostering respect among all peoples through faith and service, whereas the Village of Carol Stream seeks to further the diversity of its community and afford all residents the opportunity to better understand, recognize, and appreciate the rich history and shared experiences of Sikh Americans. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Carol Stream Board of Trustees, DuPage County, Illinois, in the exercise of its home rule powers, does hereby proclaim April Sikh Awareness Month in Carol Stream, and acknowledge and encourages all residents to take time to appreciate the many contributions of Sikh Americans and what they have made to the success of our nation.
Thank you, Trustee Geiser.
And joining us today are a member of the local Sikh community and the gentleman who contacted me about this resolution, Raj Singh Mago, would like to say a few words.
Good evening. Greetings. My name is Rajinder Singh Mago, and I've lived in this area for about 50 years. I retired 6 years ago as a mechanical engineer from Navistar after working 42 years with them in Lyle area and all that, but I've been in this Wayne Township area all this time. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. On behalf of the Sikh Americans of Carol Stream, I'd like to thank Honorable Village Mayor and Trustee Rick Geiser and Honorable Village Clerk, our dear Julia Schwarze, and all the Carol Stream's Board trustees. Thank you so much for passing this, at least putting this resolution up, and then with the consent agenda, passing that. Thank you so much on behalf of all of our community. And Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month of April in Carol Stream, it actually already is in there in the Illinois by an act since 2019, and it was implemented January 1, 2020. But we wanted it to bring it to our local community for awareness purposes also. And a few words, who are the Sikhs? Like already Rick Geiser mentioned that it's the 5th largest religion in the world, and about 25 to 27 million people worldwide, because, you know, India is almost 1.4 billion people, and then 2% of India's population is, you know, pretty close, goes up there, 27, 28 million people there. Our basic belief is oneness, that there's only one divine, whatever you call it, and the divine creator of this universe, and all human beings have the potential to realize God through love, devotion, truthful living, and service to humanity and his creation. And the Sikhs are guided by their scripture. They have a scripture, we call it Guru Granth Sahib. And the teachings are in forms of hymns and verses composed by 6 of the 10 Sikh gurus, but also 30 other non-Sikh saints and scholars who were known at that time, at that part of the world, that their compositions, hymns, and verses are also included in there. So it's already an interfaith type of scripture. And they were included based on their message of oneness of the whole humanity and the creation. And Sikhs have a distinct external appearance due to their religiously mandated dress code by what they call 5 meaningful articles of faith. For example, uncut hair, like you see my beard and all that, and wearing a turban. So this is some of one of the 5 articles of faith that we have to have. And they are all meaningful. Don't have time to go into their meanings, but 6 have 4 tenets. Some call it 3, but I call them 4 for their daily principles of way of life. And one is earn your living honestly, you know. And number 2 is share your bounty with the less fortunate. If you have your good fortune, share it with others, the needy. And remember God in everything you do. It's not that you have to pray and you go to your place. Whatever you're doing, there should be a divinity into it, truthfulness into it, and the chances are that you won't do anything wrong. And then serve humanity without discrimination. I don't want to serve only my family or my tribe and others, without discrimination. And basically, those are the basic way of life. And thank you so much for listening, and thank you for this proclamation. And we thank you all for your service to the village of Carroll Stream. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Should we have a photo? Okay. Well, thank you very much. We need to get on with the
Yeah.
meeting. Okay.
Let's see, is there any addresses from the audience? And,
We received no electronic public comment submissions.
all righty. Have a motion to select a consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Berger and seconded by trustee Garvey. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Madam Clerk, all yours.
Thank you. Staff reports and recommendations. Approval of the proposals for professional services and independent contractors agreement with B&F Construction Code Services for consultant services not to exceed $55,000 in aggregate during fiscal year 22-23.
Yes.
Yes.
Personnel policy revisions, amendments to Chapter 1S, Victims' Economic Security and Safety Leave, and Chapter 3A, Equal Employment Policy.
Yes.
Yes.
Formal approval of the purchase of 8 Ford Police utility vehicles as part of the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative contract for a total cost of $307,280.
Yes.
Yes.
Approval of a professional services contract with FGM Architects in the amount of $39,400 for design and construction documents and not to exceed $25,000 for services related to bidding and construction administration on the Police Department Interior Renovations Project.
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinances. Ordinance amending Section 13-3-13 of the Village Code pertaining to water and sewer rates. This ordinance increases the standard billing rate for water services from $8.38 to $8.69 per 1,000 gallons metered, and the standard billing rate for sewer services from $4.66 to $4.90 per 1,000 gallons of metered water use. The 55-cent rate adjustment represents an increase of 4.2% from rates that were last adjusted on May 1st, 2020, and is necessary for the ongoing operation and maintenance of the water distribution and sanitary sewer collection and treatment systems. The new rates will take effect May 1st, 2022, and will result in an increase of $3.30 per month for a customer using 6,000 gallons of water. Carroll Stream has among the lowest water and sewer rates among all DuPage Water Commission communities.
Yes.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2022-04-17. Resolutions. Resolution authorizing the execution of an Illinois Department of Transportation Preliminary Engineering Services Agreement, Supplement Number 1, for federal participation with regard to the Fair Oaks Safety Improvements Project from Judith Lane to Riviera Court in the amount of $13,866.
Yes.
Yes.
That is resolution number 3241. New business, raffle license application, Carl Sandburg Elementary School PTA. Approval of a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond for their Trivia Night fundraiser and 50/50 raffle to be held at the American Legion Post 76 on May 7th, 2022.
Yes.
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 Payment of bills. Regular bills, March 22nd, 2022 through April 4th, 2022.
Yes.
Yes.
Addendum warrants, March 22nd, 2022 through April 4th, 2022.
Yes.
Yes.
And that concludes the items on the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a motion to put those items on the consent agenda?
So moved?
Second?
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee Berger. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garby.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Giesser.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Is there a motion to approve those by omnibus vote?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Zalick, seconded by trustee Garvey. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garby.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Giesser.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. All right, now we move on to report of officers. Trustee Garvey.
We're doing this out of order tonight?
Change stop.
I just want to welcome aboard Brad Fink. Looking forward to working with you. That's the end of my report.
That's all you got, huh?
That's it.
Trustee
Few
Berger.
words.
Thank you. I would also like to welcome Brad, even though you got the Big Ten question wrong. The baseball question was easier, but welcome aboard. And I want to thank everybody from the Sikh community that came out, and I appreciate you reading over the, the general overview of the religion, and regardless of one's religious background, it's good words to live by. And so I appreciate you sharing those with us. And with that, I conclude my report.
Thank you very much. Trustee Zalick.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy. First off, Brad, good answer. You'll do just fine here. Welcome aboard. Secondly, a couple of residents have contacted me about wanting to know about electronics recycling. And the Wayne Township is holding their electronics recycling on April 23rd from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. They're on North Avenue, just east of County Farm Road. So most items are free. There are some fees for tube TVs and monitors and so forth. So any questions, contact the Wayne Township building. April, I feel the need that, since my background is law enforcement, April is Distracted Driving Month. And this is the time of year where new drivers are out and about and hitting the road, and hopefully it's a good time to remind them to get off the phone and don't have too many people in the car. Just try to keep your attention on the road. As drivers on the phone 5 times per hour are 70% more likely to get into a crash. Chief Homer, I know the police department is always on patrol looking for violations such as distracted driving. Are they doing anything this month to combat distracted driving?
Yes, Trustee Zalek. April, as you mentioned, is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. So we partner with the Illinois Department of Transportation in many grant campaigns, but certainly April is no exception. So we're out during the month of April focusing our enforcement efforts on distracted driving violations.
Excellent. And I remember those days, and that was one of my favorite times of year. And just the other day, I was driving my son, who's a sophomore at West Chicago High School, to baseball practice on Prince Crossing, and we saw a crash, not the actual crash, but the end result of a ComEd truck with yellow flashing lights on the side of the road and a car with the passenger side in the ComEd truck. And it appears that he didn't hit the brakes at all, and he was probably just distracted or just driving straight and didn't see the big white truck with the yellow flashing lights, and so the truck won. And so please tell all your young drivers and old drivers and everybody, stay off the phone and drive. Rotary Club is holding their community food drive till April 23rd. You can give canned goods to the Village Hall, the Park District, and the library until April 23rd. I would also, with it being opening day around the corner, wish the White Sox a very good year. And the other team, whatever happens, happens, but go White Sox. And let's keep our military and first responders in our thoughts and prayers. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Zalick. Trustee Geezer.
Thank you very much. I, too, would like to welcome and thank Brad Fink for choosing Carroll Stream. We wish you well. If any of us can assist you, let us know. We'll do our best. Also, I've been mentioning the 4th of July parade. Well, I should say the Independence Day parade, since the parade this year is on July 2nd. The parade and the fireworks will be on that day. We're going to be having some fundraisers coming up. I'll announce them and you at future meetings, and it'll be posted on social media as well. The village will share those, I trust. And then also, just so you know, the fireworks will also be on July 2nd. If you would like to be in the parade, we'd love to have you. You can go to the parade website, carrollstreamparade.com. And that's my report.
Thank you, Trustee Geezer. Trustee Frisoloni.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Brad, we'll make you a Cubs fan. You don't even have to worry about that. Don't listen to these guys. We'll convert you. And Phil, seriously, we need to do better background checks next time. I'm just putting it out there. I don't really care about NCAA, but diehard, long time Cubs fan. So apparently in the minority when I'm sitting next to these two. So we'll convert you. It's fine. But welcome. Like Trustee and Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy said, we've got a great staff. I probably, outside of the police department, got to spend a lot of time with them when I work with the Park District. I was working events with them all the time. I try and go out on snowplow ride-alongs every winter. The last 2 winters I haven't been able to because of surgery. But I am looking forward to getting back out. It is a very eye-opening experience. And what you find is no matter the season, no matter who is out, the guys, whether they live in town or live 25 miles from here, it doesn't matter. They take such pride in our community, in our town, and they want to do the very best. And it actually frustrates them when people park on the street because they can't do their very best job. So listen to them, learn from them, and take care of them. I mean, they are one of our biggest assets. So welcome aboard, and thank you so much for coming in tonight. To our members of our Sikh community, thank you so much for attending tonight and giving us a little bit more knowledge. That is exactly what, as a village board, we always look for. We're always looking for better ways to reach out to our community and to reach out to every member of our community. I was fortunate enough that one of the careers that I had was at Benedictine University, and they've got a very, very diverse campus, very diverse student body. That's what I was looking for. It's, students and also faculty. So during the month of April, I got to do a lot of, when the weather was really nice, we would go outside and we would do the morning prayers. They would, get staff and faculty and students together, and they would explain exactly what you just explained. So, I mean, it just a very wonderful embracing of everybody. So thank you so much for being here tonight. You mentioned Distracted Driving Month. I'd like to mention that April is also Autism Awareness Month. For me, this is very personal. I have a nephew who has Asperger's, and I remember the struggles that my sister went through with a child on the autism spectrum. He was not diagnosed until he was in 3rd grade and really struggled until he found the right teachers who understood what he needed, and my sister advocating for him. And I am so incredibly proud of the young man that he has become. He's going to be graduating next month from Marquette University. I'm going to guess with high honors based on his GPA, and is going to be going into, oh man, I'm going to screw this up, biomechanical engineering, working at GE Medical in Wisconsin. So I'm exceptionally proud of him because there was a lot of teachers that wrote him off very young in life, and he has done amazing things and will continue to do amazing things. So please, be aware if you see, a lot of the parents with children that have autism have the special ribbons or they've got the special license plates. So please be aware that not every kid who's acting out is acting out because they're a bad child. Some kids just need to act out because that's how they get some of their frustrations out and can't verbalize it. So please be aware of our autistic community as well. And with that, happy spring. I'm so glad that Trustee Berger kept his mouth shut and didn't say the S word again, because since the last
Mean
meeting-
snow?
Aren't they calling for snow Friday?
Since the last board meeting, he made it snow on my birthday, and I'm not very happy with him. So, it's supposed to be 60 degrees, and it snowed. So, stop it. It is spring. So stop saying the S word.
I just wanted to clarify that it was snow that you were talking about.
With that, I will end my report.
Thank you, Trustee Frisolone. Our clerk, Julia Shorzy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. So I too want to welcome Assistant Director of Public Works, Brad Fink. So nice to meet you. Welcome aboard. And also want to congratulate Mr. Mago and his wife and the Sikh community on the proclamation. I think it's wonderful that Carol Stream took the time to put this together and to recognize the contributions that the community has made to our community of Carol Stream. So thank you. And also to kind of piggyback on what Trustee Zalik was saying about Distracted Driving Awareness Month, just to give you a little statistics, in 2020, 3,142 Americans were killed by distracted driving, not to mention thousands and thousands of other injuries. And obviously, it's worse now than ever because of texting. And just one thing to think about, too, if getting injured or killing somebody isn't enough, your insurance rates will go up, too, if you get a texting while driving ticket. So just keep that in mind as well, and any teenagers that we have that are on their phones. Also, in addition to April being a month for distracted driving and autism and awareness, it's also Earth Day month. So as Tia mentioned in previous meetings, we have a few environmental volunteer opportunities for everybody. Coming up is going to be a bike trails cleanup on April 23rd, and the pond and stream sweep May 21st. Those are two opportunities that everybody can help with. All the details are online on the website and social media. There's also, what I'm excited about, a free rain barrel webinar coming up on April 9th, which will show us how to use a rain barrel to not only keep pollution out of our waterways, but to also save money on our water bills. So especially in light of the small increase that we're having, it's always good to save money that way. So check out the website, social media for details. Also, just one other minor thing, I was out with my dog this weekend and walking on the Great Western Trail. Somebody warned me that there was a big coyote in the path just ahead. She said, grab a rock, be ready to throw it at the coyote if it goes after your dog. Well, I didn't end up seeing the coyote, but when I came back to the neighborhood, some of my neighbors said that they've been seeing coyotes in their backyards. So anybody with small dogs or cats that go outside, just, keep an eye on your pets. And other than that, just want to say, don't forget, shop and dine in Carol Stream. We have lots of new restaurants opening, lots of ribbon cuttings. I know a lot of the trustees are going to those. So please, patronize those new restaurants, patronize the great shops that we have, and just remember that, that revenue, that sales tax revenue that we get from that shopping is going to help fund the services, the great services that we have in Carol Stream, like Public Works and law enforcement. So shop and dine in Carol Stream. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Tia, got anything?
Well, in addition to the several months that this month is, it is also National Child Abuse Prevention Month. And If you suspect a child is being neglected or abused, be sure to make a report by calling DCFS hotline at 1-800-252-2873. And also be aware, of course, Carroll Stream has a wonderful social services unit within our police department, and they are here to help. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you very much. Our attorney, Mr. Rhodes.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. Brad, welcome aboard. Look forward to working with you. And two items of legislation I think you ought to know about. First, House Bill 4169 is a bill which would increase the local governmental distributive fund back to 8%. It's very important. It would increase the revenue that local government gets, including Carroll Stream. And there's only 5 days left in the legislative session. So, excuse me, the Illinois Municipal League has suggested that that local government board individual trustees and council members actually personally call their legislators to talk about how important it is to get that bill passed. Also, a couple of meetings ago, I talked about the TIF legislation that was out there. That is Senate Bill 2298, which has a number of different provisions in it which would significantly limit the ability of municipalities to do redevelopment work with tax increment financing. It appeared that that legislation was dead, but Senator Gillespie has been pushing to get that legislation wrapped into the property tax reform bill that's out there. And how the TIF legislation deals with that, I have no idea, but that's what's going on. So the IML has also suggested that all of local government personally contact your state senators and indicate how significant of an issue that would be if that legislation was adopted. So those are the two items that I wanted to bring forward to you. We'll see what happens. Again, there's only, I think it's 5 days as of today. And there's always a last push in the state legislature to sneak things through. And so, we'll have to watch and see.
Like last year.
Yes, exactly. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you very much. Our village attorney, Bob Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. The mayor and the village board held 4 budget workshops open to the public over the last 2 months in February and March. And we've now concluded those discussions. Staff appreciates the commitment and comments from the village board on the staff recommendations regarding the fiscal year 2023 budget. A draft copy of that budget is now available for review here at the Municipal Center, and it's also available online on our village website under Village Finances. If anyone would like to comment on that, staff is available to provide answers to your questions. A public hearing notice will be published in the April 6th edition of the Carroll Stream Examiner, and a public hearing and final adoption of the budget will be included in the April 18th board meeting agenda. With the approach of warmer weather, we have begun seasonal code enforcement, specifically in the areas of failed parking lot pavement. If you've ever driven in a shopping center or a strip center and your wheel has hit a pothole, we're trying to stay on the landlords to get those fixed, as well as fences that have taken a hit over the winter with the hard winds that have blown many of them down. So we'll be following up with residents and businesses over the next several weeks. And to make it easier for residents to complete their projects, the permit applications are available online, as well as payment online for many of the permits. With the approach of warmer weather, we have begun seasonal code, beginning in the next 2 weeks, weather permitting, concrete work is expected to begin in our industrial area on Village Drive, Kehoe Boulevard, Commerce Drive, St. Paul Boulevard, and Delacorte, and those are all in our industrial park. Trustee Zelig mentioned distracted driving is particularly hazardous in construction zones, so please be careful if you're driving through any of these areas and obey all traffic signs and warnings. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Brad, of course, welcome, and luckily you said Sox first. I'll give you you watch Cubs games. Hey, I watched the World Series, and I cheered for their fans. I was happy for Cubs fans that the Cubs won. But if the Cubs and Sox go against each other, I want the Sox to sweep them. That's every single time. That's just how I feel.
Brewers.
I'm okay with the Brewers.
Cardinals?
Yeah. Thank you for the Sikh community for coming in. Kind of like Trustee Berger said, I think if we all lived by a few of those pillars, does not matter what religion we are or even if we were part of a religion. Work hard and honest, help others. That's a pretty good way to go by. So thank you for pointing those out. I appreciate you're giving us a little bit of who you are. We talked about spring and baseball. With that comes kids running out from all over the place, out of sidewalks, from behind buildings, from behind cars. Slow down, look out for them. Pay attention to crosswalks. If there's somebody in the crosswalk, you as a vehicle are required to stop and let them cross through. I still see quite a bit of that, of people just completely ignoring somebody going to step out on the street. And I'm just always afraid something bad is going to happen. The kid's not going to be paying attention. As adults, it's our job to look out for them. So, yeah, it is our job to see somebody who's about to walk into the street and hit our brakes and stop and let them cross. And then if you are out walking and you happen to be with your dog, make sure you bring those handy-dandy little poop bags with and clean up after them, please. A couple of the walks we took, people are forgetting to do that. And it might have been winter and whatever the case, but let's make our community, let's keep it clean and make it nice looking and easy to drive around, notwithstanding all the goose poop. The other thing is, everybody's got somewhere on their street, they've got stormwater drains. If you see a bunch of limbs and garbage or whatever else on it, if you got a minute, you'd be doing everybody a huge favor if you just threw it away and cleared that drain. As rain comes in, it's important that those are open and don't get clogged, and it's also important that that stuff doesn't wash into our different creeks and waterways, because when they do, that also clogs them, which then will cause, luckily, over the past few years, pretty much only street flooding. But we'd like to alleviate even as much of that as possible. Again, I understand streets are technically designed as part of the floodway, but we need to keep water out of houses. So let's all pitch in and pick up a branch here and there, and it'll all work out much better. With that, I'm going to take a motion to adjourn, but we are going into executive session specifically for deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C2.
Correct, and there will be no action taken after the executive session, so the motion will be to adjourn for the purpose of going into executive session and then to adjourn directly from the executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Garvey, seconded by Trustee Frusaloni. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalik.
Aye.
Trustee Gieser.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.